Alright, welcome to another fight video. I started recording this a little off, but anyway. So I'm going to do something a little different. Instead of like going over, let's say, a more famous well-known like Tokyo or something, I'm going to do something a little more regional. Now, I live in the Chicago area, which that's well-known. But I'm actually going to fly over northwest Indiana into southwestern Michigan up to South Ada. Now, a couple reasons why. I did a recent kind of like day trip around this area over the weekend a few days ago. But also... I want to kind of see how it captures like the coastline off of like Michigan, because they're well known for these sand dunes in Indiana and western Michigan. At the same time, I thought it might be interesting to talk about some little history in the area itself. Obviously, it won't be anything, let's say, mind-blowing. It won't be like, oh, there's like an Al Capone vault over here. Now, it'd just be more like, about the area itself and its kind of its importance and where it's at today. We're taking out of this airport. It's actually right on the border of Illinois and Indiana. It's on the Illinois side, right across from Munster and Hammond, Indiana. Excuse me. Wow, that was like really picky. I actually found out about this airport because I drove by it about a month or two ago and saw it. So, but this is it, yeah. Obviously, this is an AI created thing, but it's like just some hangars. It is a public airport though, and they have like an Enterprise rental-car center. When I was looking on the map, so a little interesting there.
Landing gear.
Oh, whoops. There we go. We're going to use this plane. This is going to be about probably a good 35-40 minute flight for us. So, you see we're taking off west right now. So this is the Illinois side. I'm already going to slow this down. I didn't want to get too high yet. So, and this is like, I don't think this is Homewood, Illinois. I always kind of forget the suburb right across, but these are like the southeastern suburbs of the Chicago area. A little more blue-collarish, it's a little more mixed here because you got some, it's a little more rural, like right through here. There's some forest preserves, but it's still pretty urbanized. Now, what we're going to be doing, we're going to go, basically, hold on, there we go. It was not cooperating. We're going to be turning right through here. So over here, this is where we're going to start getting into. Like, this is like Hammond, Munster, Gary's. This is Gary, Indiana, right over here. We're going to kind of go north just so I can get a sense of kind of like what it recaptures. But yeah, so over here in this area is Hammond, Indiana. There's like Michigan. We already can see it. I'm going to go up north and then kind of head it. Because one, I'm kind of curious to see kind of what made and what didn't here. Take a look. Did a really good job of capturing the highway and stuff. Alright, let's slow this down. Alright, but anyway, so main reason I'm talking about this part first is just kind of, it's a very kind of interesting area if you ever kind of go through here, because it's like the industrial Rust Belt still kind of exists here. Like, I wouldn't say it's pretty in northwest Indiana, like in terms of like, it's booming, let's say like back in the 50s or 60s. But, like, over in this area, which is going to be going over soon, I really want to see if it captures the casino. There's a casino right over here, so I just want to see if it stands out. But, like, there's like a big Unilever plant over here. There's still some active, like, there's still some active manufacturing, and the houses in the area are actually pretty nice in this area. But it's a little weird. Like, this part here is not that good, but then, like, down here around the interstate, it reminds like a nice old-fashioned blue collar or even a white collar neighborhood with like these old kind of post World War II houses. It's got restaurants and stuff nearby, parks. So it's really neat. It's not neat, but it's a nice, respectable area. And as I got through other parts, like towards Michigan City, it's like you see some really nice areas and some rundown areas. I know Gary's probably the most, unfortunately, kind of like been hit the hardest over the years from, due to the, Rust Belt and jobs leaving. We're just going to try and go over the port of Indiana and so forth. Now, I wonder, I doubt it'd capture it. By the way, Midway Airport's not too far from here. It's like, yeah, it's like right over here. So, this interstate here. So this is it's like 80/294, and this is 294 goes up. Kind of ends 80, and this is like this is 94, and this is 90 over here, I believe. Yeah, over here you get the India Tollway, or 90, is it called the Tollway? Skyway. It's the India Skyway. So yeah, stuff about like the India Skyway. You know, it's like one of the more famous kind of like big overhead. It's like this huge bridge. And I'm hoping, I can't tell if it's capturing or not for me. I don't think it is. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of hovering over this here to see if it stands out. It's either be, I'm going to say it'd be like right around here. Actually, it won't be too far from the casino, but I don't see it. No, I don't think it captured it. Yeah, I'm trying to get this plane back lower and keep it steady. Yeah, we'll hug this a bit. Actually, is this the interstate or is it right over there? Oh, anyway. But you can see here, look, it's like a lot more industrial. We're now in Gary. Yeah, I didn't see, I think that's the casino right there, I believe. That looks like it right there. Yeah, it's a tower. It doesn't look exactly like that, but I can tell. But anyway. So I was saying, yeah, this is kind of like an old, you see here, this is still an industrial area. You know, there's still some active, not inactive in Gary. Like, Gary probably got hit harder. But it's still surprisingly pretty popular, but I think a big part of it also what's happened is you see more, like, people out of Chicago have been moving to this area as well. Let's see how that looks. Five is steady. Nope. Look, I'm trying to get the right balance where I don't have to really mess with the speed anymore, but I'm not getting it. But yeah, but here's where it's kind of getting interesting. You know, it's very industrial, and all of a sudden, it starts opening up a bit. So this is I want to say this is I-90 here. But yeah, see, now all of a sudden it's kind of, we're starting to see some greenery. Obviously, you got the airport there. This is not, I'm trying to think, no, not yet. Yeah, this is 90 over here. So, we're kind of hovering. But yeah, we're going to be hovering this coastline a bit. And one, it's beautiful. You know, Lake Michigan is just absolutely beautiful. But anyway, I'm kind of curious to see how things turn up. There's not much to say about Gary. One other thing I did want to say that's a little cool. So there's this old train line called South Shore Line that goes, you know, obviously down to Chicago. But it's one of the oldest. I think it's the oldest suburban rail network in like the Chicago area. I won't say in the U.S. I'm sure New York or somebody beats it. But it's been around since 1903, and it goes all the way out to South Bend. So you can take a suburban trail, basically down to Chicago. South Bend, let's say for Notre Dame game, depending on the schedule, of course, and what's going on with COVID. But you know, it's a key line. It's an old line. It's really unique because the other lines are all run by Metra, and this one's kind of like an independent, or it might be / Metra now, but they kept the old logo, and the train cars are different from the other lines as well. But yeah, it goes through through Gary, it goes to Michigan City, which we'll be passing in a bit. You know, it's just kind of this, you know, it's just, you know, historically it's kind of unique, and or it's pretty beautiful. Like, I wouldn't say it goes right on the coast, but you can see Lake Michigan off the train line from what I've heard. I haven't done it because, you know, I don't live downtown where I take it, and where I live, it's much quicker just to take my car and drive through the interstates, through the, like I-294 and the loops to get down in this area. Now, somewhere, I want to say, and I'm basing this off the map, I think that's the port of Indiana, and that's going to be some importance because we're starting to get into the national park soon of the Indiana State Dunes. Or it's like Indiana Dunes National Park. And the dunes are kind of famous for this beaches. Yeah, so we're starting to see being created here. Like we're getting away from this, developed industrial into more actual nature. But we'll see something unique in the middle here soon, I believe. If it's, which I believe is right up here. So yeah, so we're starting to get into the international, and this is what we want to talk about. The Indiana Dunes National Park. You kind of see here, it's got these forests and stuff. Obviously from the air, it's doing its best to capture it, but this whole area became a national park, and it's been kind of in this preservation battle for about 50, 60 years, which really started with this Port of Indiana up ahead. And the main reason is two things. One, the Indiana Dunes is always kind of like this little pristine beach and kind of like a summer day getaway for a lot of people out of Chicago and locals in the region. Obviously, you live in South Bend. It's just down the road, basically. You have a train line out here, and so forth. And they had this you see here, you got this nice, beautiful beach, right off Lake Michigan. And obviously, there's been some development with this neighborhood here and so forth. But then over here, these becomes this is not part of the park. And this became part of this lawn preservation battle of the region to prevent losing all of this. Because even the parks, even the forest part, it's very beautiful. Some beautiful trails. It's actually a little more hilly than it looks. But kind of like the natural forest of this part of the U.S. and especially right off Lake Michigan. Now you can see here. Now we kind of see a little bit. It looks like a little bit right here. They got multiple beaches. The main, actually, this might be the main dunes. And then it's this could be it right here. Actually, I think it is. But you can see here. See how look how unique this looks. We're actually going to see this in Michigan as well when we get into Western Michigan. Yeah, this is part of the state park. Now, what's a little weird is this is the state park here. So this is the national park's free, and then you pay an extra $12 to get into the state park. But you see it's got a big parking lot. It's all about this beautiful beach here. And unique kind of very sandy area. There's trails in the sand as well. I didn't make it to the dunes itself. I kind of did a multiple stop day trip. And then, of course, you got a little development here. But then you have this here. This is the Port of Indiana. And this is what really spurred this whole preservation debate in this little region here of Indiana that was, this was built I think in the 50s, early 60s, or 50s, 60s. It was obviously a shipping port for the lakes up to Canada and so forth. But, this was also dune territory wells that they tore up, repurposed the land. I mean, you kind of see it looks sandy from here, but obviously it's a port, very industrialized. But, this began the movement because they didn't want to lose any more. They didn't want to, lose what's left of this or lose more of the forest and the woods here. This is actually part of the Forest National Park here. And then it begins again right over here. So, it's kind of unique to see this, this major port in the middle of it, but it's just kind of, what makes the history of this area very unique. Because, you really have this beautiful sandy beaches around here and stuff in the middle of the port. But this port built, really, that's what caused to save the rest of it. Otherwise, this could all have eventually been developed. Again, maybe not because of, the last 50 years of changes with industrial, manufacturing, movement, and so forth. There's an argument maybe it would have wiped out and would not have developed. But this spurred all of this. People did not want to lose any more of the coastline. So, and you kind of see here, you don't really see much more up anymore. Even in Western Michigan, as we get into Benton Harbor and stuff, you won't see much else. You won't see, any other harbor and stuff. This kind of really spurred, because there's a lot of spurred the preservation move, because in Western Michigan, there's a lot of state parks right off that coastline. I went to one in South Haven. There's a big one with the dunes, and some other ones with trails there. I mean, it's very beautiful. Yeah, but see, this is what I can see. So this capture, there's even a little bit of swamp and stuff in the middle. It's pretty unique. Now, what's interesting, they do have some housing still that I think was built before it got the preservation status. I'm trying to see if I can I don't know if it's going to capture really well. There's one of the beaches right there. And you can see, now this is not part of the park, but then this is, you know, you got some, you know, more of your spread out rural housing. You know, as you see, it's got like a, almost like a slight outer burb here, but this is still all part of the Chicago Metroline area. You know, the suburban trail system, or suburban train, South Shore goes out here, as I said. They got the Chicago radio, news stations as well. And at the same time, they're showing Central Time. It's one of the few parts of the state that's showing Central Time, mostly because of Chicago. I get a little more west here. Now, I don't know if it's gonna, I can see it from here very well. But we'll hug this coast a bit. But it's kind of cool. There's some like old, like 1930s houses that originally were going to try to build like this new kind of like resort community, I think. You know, like rich houses, summer, you know, like getaways. However, that didn't came to be because they started building it right when the Great Depression started. And it just didn't really cover. Now, there's still some of the houses there, not, you know, a few, but it never came to fruition, this major resort. Yeah, you can see here more of like the natural sandy and stuff. They did a pretty good job recapturing this from here. And that's how it really looks off the coastline if you ever go through here. And it's very beautiful, actually. You know, it gives you the impression you're at an ocean over a great, you know, over a, you know, and not realizing you're in a fresh body water right here. I think up ahead is Michigan City. They got a really huge casino over there. And you're almost into Michigan already. So, but no, this is very beautiful, and you can see, you know, thankfully the preservation worked. They preserve a lot of this, especially in the Indiana portion, as this was a more industrial area of the country, of the state and region. Even going to western Michigan, obviously, it's actually more rural in terms, it's more of like a produce area, a lot of fruit, which I go into in a second. We'll talk about Michigan City. This is kind of one of the last cities that's still in Central Time in this park. You're going to eventually go north, because you go east and go in the South Bend, that switches to Eastern Time, and you go north into Michigan and automatically switch to Eastern Time. So this is like one of the last Central Time zones. So it makes it also unique how you just have these about 3 counties, and I think it might be 4. There's one other county south that's not off the shoreline that is on Central Time, and and then, you know, if you go after that, you go east of there is Eastern Time, and then you go north into Michigan, it's back to Eastern Time. But Michigan City is kind of like a little outer burb community. The most famous thing, they got this lighthouse. They still got one of the few remaining lighthouses off Lake Michigan, or at least in this region. You know, they kind of advertise. Also, like a big casino resort, which I'm thinking this is it right here. I kind of want to see it. Oh no, it looks like a power plant. Actually, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Okay, I learned something new. That might be the resort. I think the lighthouse, we'll see if it captures it. Maybe it's that? I mean, it'll be like right around here, I believe. Yeah, I guess this is Michigan City. That's kind of neat. It looks like a power plant. I don't think it's nuclear, though. It might just be... Kind of looks like a nuclear smokestack. I gotta look that up. So I didn't know that. I didn't know there was something like that name. Now this looks like a super casino. Look at that. Yeah, it's a pretty big resort, and it's nice. And obviously with sports betting, they've been advertising the heck out of it up here where I live. And probably down here, but I think even Michigan's legalized sports betting as well, because I saw ads for Michigan sports gambling. But yeah, I can tell this is the Blue Chip Casino. Its building looks like this. It's actually recreated really, really well. Yeah, that's the casino. You can tell it's pretty big. But yeah, but you know, that's it. This is, let's say this is Highway 20 right through here. Yeah, it is. And the interstate is somewhere around here, I would say. We'll be hitting it again soon. But yeah, again, still beautiful coastline. Maybe you like it when these houses with that beautiful view every day. I wouldn't say they're cheap through there, but obviously being kind of a little more remote-ish. You know, I mean, you're good now 40 miles from the Loop, 45 miles from downtown Chicago. It's really more of an outer burb, you know, you're in northwest Indiana, you're on the border of Michigan. And, you know, so, again, I wouldn't say cheap, but probably a lot cheaper unless they get something similar, like, in the Chicago, like north of Chicago, like up in, you know, Evanston or Northbrook, and maybe even like southern Wisconsin, because then all of a sudden you kind of commute with Milwaukee as well. Because after this, the nearest, you know, the next major city, I mean, I guess you could say is Detroit. Now, a good mid-sized city would be like Grand Rapids and, you know, Lansing, I think is about an hour-ish away, maybe an hour and a half, roughly. But, you know, again, in terms of like a major metropolitan area, then it'd be Detroit, east of here. Indianapolis is still a good 3.5 hours. So maybe that might be technically closer than Detroit. But again, just thinking of the region, you know, they're probably very close distance-wise from here. Now let's take a look here. So yeah, we're now going into Michigan. You can see it's obviously rural, but you know, somewhat forested. Like it's not like if you go through central Illinois, there's nowhere this many trees, unfortunately. Actually, I think that's the interstate now. I know it kind of hugs this area. I can't, or that might be Highway 20. No, this is the interstate. Yeah, I can tell. I recognize this. Yeah, so we're about to head into Michigan. So this is Interstate 94. This eventually goes to Detroit. That's got a little golf course here. Keep that in mind. I didn't see that off the interstate. Kind of tucked away, too. This is kind of why I feel like doing a different video, just a little more laid back. Just kind of enjoying the Mother Nature. We're going to see some more dunes, actually, in Michigan soon. So keep an eye out for that. So that's why I'm kind of hugging this coast. This highway goes right by it as well. Can't see it from the highway, but it goes right by where it's conveniently located off that interstate. Actually, there's another casino over here as well. Might be... Yeah, it doesn't matter. I came across it by accident. Yeah, look, you can see a way station down there. That's kind of neat. But yeah, you see, and it's kind of, you can tell this is one of more pretty interstate drives. It's very forested around the interstate. Obviously, you go over here, it's a little more, that's more your farmland. But even that, it's not like just fields. You know, there's quite a bit of trees in this area as well, which caught me a lot off guard, or not off guard, a little surprised. You know, I thought it'd be a little more, you know, mostly farmland, but no, I was wrong. It is very pretty through here. Also, making sure. I don't think this is Benton Harbor. I know we haven't gone through the dunes yet. This is another small town. It's like New Buffalo, I think. So, but anyway. So a couple of things that is neat about Michigan I've kind of learned more recently. Now, I've always known they're known for the cherries, but they're also really well known for its apples. Like, it's a very... It produces... its produce is pretty well known, and I just really started learning that more recently. You know, being up here and seeing their... You know, their fruit products and stuff. And what's really popular in the fall... you know, a lot of people from Chicago, and obviously elsewhere like South Bend and so forth, we're going to Michigan, and they call it cider mills. And, you know, they're basically apple orchards. You know, obviously pick the apples, but they're known for their cider. They usually make cider donuts, and they got shops there. Usually at these orchards where they sell a lot of fresh, you know, like jams and, you know, fresh cider and so forth. And, you know, that's kind of what I did. I didn't do the apple picking. I mostly went to the store to get the fresh jams. But, man, it's good. Like, because you're getting this cider that's obviously made right there in that area or on site. You know, it's well done. They got jams they're making there on site and so forth. You know, and then in the summer, which I need to go back in the summer more often, is they're well known for its cherries. And man, they're like really, you know, I've gotten a few Michigan cherries down there. It's amazing. You know, when they're in season, like in peak around usually like late July. I mean, they're just incredible to have. So yeah, but anyway, and you go there and they got they even making some of the root vegetables like pumpkins and squash, and so it's interesting. People always say in Michigan think of like the automobile industry or manufacturing. It's a very strong agricultural state as well. Especially in Western Michigan with a lot of the produce they make, and it's very good. And they're more on the fruits. They aren't just focusing on, let's say, corn or soy like you see in like Central Illinois or good portions of Ohio, or even like Central Eastern Indiana, that I-70 corridor that goes to the middle of the state. No, it's more of your fruit up here. So. And, they take a lot of pride in that. You go there, you can see there's a lot of locals and people in the region just really enjoying the fresh fruit and the apple orchards and hay rides and stuff. It's a nice little... It reminded me, it was definitely more sense of normalcy out here for sure during COVID, but the my fat point is that it's just very cool to see these like mom and pop farms and operations just being very family friendly. And here's what I mentioned, we're now about to come across our next set of dunes. So yeah, these are the Michigan dunes, and it's interesting. You don't see them like all over. It makes me wonder if these are all here once, and maybe they just developed, put houses and stuff, and they preserve certain parts of it. But anyway, it is really neat to see this, and they did a pretty good job, I feel like, capturing that off in this game. Part of me did kind of want to see I could fly over the apple orchard I went to, but that's probably really hard to tell. I mean, there was like a couple buildings. I think there might have been a church nearby, but I don't know how well I'll capture it. But yeah, you can see more of these dunes. You see these big dunes here. And who would have thought this would be right here in the Midwest in Michigan and near Chicago? You can see, big, during the summer, it'd be very popular as a beach destination. But, I saw quite a few people at this next park when I'll probably fly over a little bit. But yeah, so you kind of see more of these dunes kind of going. It's kind of unique. I kind of saw that where I went. There's like a smaller dune. It's like, it's like you have like this coast of trees, but then all of a sudden it's like really inland a bit. Where you have like trees in the middle, and it's kind of a mix of like almost like ground. It's like a sandy dirt. Like it isn't just sand. Sometimes it's like a sandy dirt. Where these trees are. So I don't know. If I knew my like geology or understand the science, I bet it'd be kind of interesting just to see how unique this the soil and stuff is right through here. I actually don't think geology is the right term for that, so I'm just kind of guessing what it might be on top of my head. But yeah, so you got more beaches. These are all state parks and stuff, and you got some houses and stuff developed here. There's the interstate, a little town and so forth. But anyway, we're gonna keep going north, up into South Haven. Hopefully I can see the park I went to. Now, I golfed over here somewhere, and I wonder if this is the course, but I don't think it is. I don't remember being over the interstate. There was a course I did golf at. It wasn't far from Lake Michigan. There's a couple of holes you got views of it. It was very beautiful. Giant Nicholas course as well. Yeah, see, this is the lake. Yeah, as far as you can tell, you didn't see we're not far from Chicago, but it looks like we're miles away from now of all this beautiful lake right here. Almost said ocean by accident. Is that a wind farm? Oh no, it's a power center. Yeah, you can just tell. Just look how beautiful this is. And this is not going to do it justice, but when I was fine, it was actually a little hilly, and it was like really beautiful. Like seeing these orchards and little farmland going up and down these hills, and there'd be like little, like little places that were open. That like little cider mills or orchards are open with stores and stuff. So yeah, it's up at one. I mean, it's kind of neat. You got little lakes here, little housing. I mean, this would be beautiful to live right through here. I do think the tree generation is doing it justice. Like, it's very beautiful right through here. Anyway, let's get back up. Let's get back up to 2000. I want to say we're now in Benton Harbor area. You know, decent little sized town, nothing major. So, yeah, sorry for the ums. I do this on the spot. There's no script. That's kind of why I'm doing it like this. Just kind of free whelm to see how it goes. Excuse me. Now, eventually, this interstate is going to split. Yeah, see, right there. This is still 94. It's going to split into. It's a 694. It's like one of these little inner loop states. It's like an inner loop, you know. It's like a spur that's really meant to go like one of the city or just a couple other areas. You know, it's not. It doesn't really cross into other state lines. Or very rarely it does. You know, it's more just for like serving a purpose, you know, to reach to another city to kind of connect everything. Yeah, you can tell decent sized city, but then you still got farmland, like just a few miles over there. Let's get some little forests or trails here. That's really pretty. Yeah, it's got a little regional airport. It's really, it's a little river going in from the lake. It's so peaceful. This is what I like about this game. I say we're another, what, 5, maybe 10 minutes out from landing. You know, that's pretty reasonable. Unfortunately, there's not much to say here. Was that my golf course? Nah, I don't think it was. It's like Harbor Shores, I think. I always forget where that is. Here we go. We're going to spend the rest of this time looking at the golf course I played at that I don't exactly remember where. I just know it's somewhere over here. And we're going on an adventure. Yeah, but basically to sum up, Western Michigan's really more rural and agriculture. Obviously you go into more, I think Kalamazoo is Western Michigan University, which is not far from here, but it's not right off the coast. I mean, it's probably a good 30, 40 miles east of there, maybe. Guess it from the map. And then you got Lansing, you know, which is another 40. You know, I got Lansing. It's kind of like central west Michigan, where Michigan State is. And then you go more east, you had Ann Arbor, which is getting closer, which is more closer to Detroit. And obviously you got Detroit itself. Yeah, decent little airport right there. I thought maybe we could end it there, maybe, but it's like, nah, let's go up, see the South Haven area, see if I can see the park I visited. And you know, there wasn't any major dunes per se, but maybe there's enough that I can at least say, like, I recognize like where it was. Yeah, so this has got to be interstate. And it's on the east side of the airport. I don't remember passing an airport at all when we went through there, so I think the airport might be slightly north where I was going. Ah, yes, but see, this is where the interstate splits. I can tell right there. And this is kind of like the spurt that goes up to Grand Rapids, see? And it's very pretty through here, you know, look at it. They got a lot of forests and trees. You know, you see this, there's some farmland here, but this isn't like massive fields. And these are more like little orchards and maybe small corn farms. Like, it's very pretty. Even the farmland's very pretty because it's like, it feels definitely more, I wouldn't say less corporate. You know, I know there is like farms are bigger and they kind of like more or less the providers like McDonald's or ConAgra. It feels definitely more down like mom and pop operations out here. You know, where, you know, they aren't like trying to just sell to the biggest corporation or bidder. It's like they have like little shops and they operate farmers markets and so forth. And I've seen some, you know, come down into where I live. There's a farmers market near me, and I know there's been, you know, they've sold stuff that was made in, you know, or not made, you know, sell like fresh producers from Michigan and so forth. Yeah, so this is the interstate that kind of this is at the spur, but it's like just, you know, literally like no more than a couple miles from the lake at this point. Very pretty through here. Like, it's a nice, beautiful day trip. Places to go around and drive. The weather's nice. Have the windows down. The air's beautiful. The air smells great here. You got this lake here with all the fresh air and the wind coming off of it. Alright, we're getting closer and closer, so we're gonna start hugging the beach here soon. Yeah, as I say, you know, just hope the aero footage does it justice, but I highly recommend if you guys anyone like stumbles across this video and they're coming out here, go, mess around. It's very beautiful. It's a good way to get like a nice little day trip in, or go out camping for a couple of days. I mean, it's a beautiful part of the state. I was out here for some fall colors. The fall colors are incredible as well. Yeah, so you have these little communities, houses around, and so forth. That looks a little familiar. Hopefully it's not trying to turn me into land just yet. And so I'm going to try my best to see if I can find where I went. I mean, there was like a campground stuff, but you know, it was very forested or covered as well, so there's a chance I may not see it, but we'll see on the first try. If not, we'll just head right into the airport and end this video. Yeah, see, look, more coastline. I mean, it's showing see, it shows cars here, so I think it's trying to show there is like parks and stuff here. Obviously houses and so forth. Let's just get a picture of that. Yeah, so I guess, you know, overall this video did a good job capturing definitely the dunes that were in Indiana and in Michigan. I mean, it really stood out, you know, from the other parts. Obviously, it's doing a good job on the coastline, but I don't think I'm going to find my park. I think I would have come across it by now. And maybe up here, but I doubt it. Because the park I went to, it was like this kind of beach, a little hilly, which you kind of tell from here. Yeah, see, there's my airport. Oh, I gotta turn in. Ooh. All right, hold on. Let me. All right, well. Oh, you really gotta make this difficult, don't you? I can't read that. That looks 14 to me. No, that's a 5. Alright. So, oh yeah, real quick. Oh, this might have been in here. I remember seeing some dunes. But yeah, so you got more dunes here and so forth, so. Nah, there's like no air traffic control. Okay, at least it won't be yelling at me. Stop trying to pull me down.
Stall.
I hate the autopilot. I gotta turn that off. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of more of a laid back, me rambling about the area and so forth, but I thought it'd be kind of neat to do something a little different. See how this looks in I don't have confidence that altimeter's right. I just want to make sure I don't land a tree. I think we'll be fine. We'll try this in first person. First person. Try this one in the cockpit.
Stall.
Oh, no. Sorry, we gotta change it. Shit. Sorry about that. Hold on. I blame my autopilot. Another happy landing. Thank you, Obi-Wan. But yeah, see, small little airport. Nothing too bad. We'll pull off. I'm not gonna. Alright, I'm not gonna mess with that. We're just gonna pull off and call it a day here in a second. Ooh, better be careful. Maybe a T-Rex or a Stegosaurus will come out and eat me. I mean, this looks like the plane from the Jurassic Park 3. Well, I just ran over the equipment. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, a little different, learn a little bit of more of a unique regional thing here. So, I hope you guys have a good night or day, and take care.